third and final country today. As we're on Kiribati. As the present inhabitants are descended mainly from Samoans who migrated to Kiribati from sometime between the 11th and 14th centuries. There's traces of later contact with the other Pacific Islanders and Chinese influence remain in the population and culture. As the social structure was diverse, as chiefs ruling in the Northern Islands, Council of Elders having authority in the south. As the islands of the 16th century Spanish seamen, or settlement was not attempted, as the Europeans did not arrive in numbers till 1765. And in the late 18th century and 1870, the waters of Kiribati were used by European sperm whaling ships. As deserters from the ships sometimes settled on the islands. As the coconut oil exports trade in coconut oil began about 1860, and followed by a trade in copra. By the second half of the 19th century, 9,000 Kiribati people were working overseas thanks to an energetic labour recruitment. As Christian missionaries first arrived in North Gilbert in 1857 and 1870, Samoan clergy, sponsored by the London Missionary Society, arrived at Aurora, Tamara, Anotoa and Beru. In 1880, Roman Catholic missionaries arrived in the Gilberts, which are today predominantly... What? Not me. Which are today predominantly Roman Catholic. And in 1892, the British Protectorate was proclaimed by Abemama by Captain Davis of the HMS Royalist on behalf of Queen Victoria. And the headquarters of the establishment of Tarawa District Magistrates were assigned to be chief to the islands as codes of law were drawn up. As Prospect Rich Banaba, or Ocean Island, was annexed by Britain in 1900. And in 1915, Gilbert and Ellis Islands were annexed by the British Order in Council, which came into effect on 12th of January 1916. As the Japanese occupied the Gilbert Islands from 1942 to 43.
Where's the food at?
Who were driven out by US Army in some of Pacific Wars versus fighting. And in 1957, 3 hydrogen bombs were detonated in the vicinity of Kiribati and parts of the UK's atmospheric testing programme. And in 1925, Ellis Islands seceded to form a separate territory of Tuvalu, and the internal self-governing government was given to Gilbert Islands, renamed Kiribati, and on January 1st, 1977. And the conference in 1978, it was agreed that Kiribati, other islands apprehended territory by the colonial authorities, should have become fully independent as a republic. And on independence, July 12th, 1979, Kiribati became the 41st member of the Commonwealth, whereas Aremia Tabai became the first president of Kiribati, and in July 1979, he was re-elected in April 1982, but following December, his government was defeated in a vote of no confidence as re-elected president in February 1983. He went on to win re-election of May 1987, and was prevented by the Constitution from standing for a further term, and was succeeded after 1991 in a general election by his former Vice President, Toyotawa Tanakai. There was no political parties before September 1985, as candidates continued to stand for election as independent individuals, though loosely structured parties. For example, Tanaki's National Progressive Party, as then Teraburo's Tito's Maneban Te Maori and Botokan Te Kao emerged thereafter. And in May 1994, President Tanaki's government lost a vote of no confidence, and a general election was held in July of 1994, brought by 18 new members into Parliament, as the majority of 39 seats were won by an opposition group, and the presidential election that followed in September 1994, as Teburoro Tito was elected from a list of 4 nominees. And in March 1998, among the main recommendations of the first review of the Constitution since independence in 1997, in March 1998, the main recommendations of the first review of the Constitution since independence. In 1979, was that foreign husbands of Kiribati women should have the same automatic right of Kiribati citizenship as foreign wives of Kiribati men. And on the 23rd and 30th of September 1998, elections were held for the House of Assembly. In the first round of voting, the government won 6 seats, as the opposition held 8 seats, and second round the government won for 14 seats, making 20 in all, and the opposition 9 seats with 17 in all, and the remaining 2 seats were won by independents. And in November 1998, President Tito was re-elected as he defeated opposition members like Amber Roti, Nico Roa and Harry Tong. Then there's also Banaba, as prospect mining has made Banaba almost uninhabitable, as the inhabitants were moved to the Fijian island of Rabi in the mid-1940s, and in 1970 became citizens of Fiji, but kept the ownership of land on Banaba. In 1981, 10 years of discussion and litigation over the prospects, royalties and environmental damages caused by open cast mining, it accepted 14.58 million Australian dollars compensation from the British government, as the Banabans have special rights of residence and representation in Kiribati. And moving on to language, as Kiribati is a small country and is mainly composed of islands like 33 island atolls, reef islands, and located in the central region of the Pacific Ocean. Total population in the country, according to 2015 census, is about 110,000 people. While several people in Kiribati speak Kiribati, also known as Gilbertese. The official language of the country is English, as it's a de facto national language of Kiribati. As the British colonisers who left the country after Kiribati gained independence in 1979, responsible for introducing the English language used in the country, as the English language is used as a de facto national language in the country and is widely used in the capital city of Tarawa. And apparently the use of English is also widespread in other parts of countries and most used in schools of Kiribati, as a medium of instruction. And events and official ceremonies held in the country usually use the English language for communication purposes. Most citizens on the island use English as well as to communicate with tourists to the island and all. And moving on to Kiribati, the Kiribati language, or Gilbertese, as it's an official dialect spoken by the native people of the country, and the natives usually use it daily. And about 90% of the people in the country understand or speak it, and are fluent in it. And although Kiribati is spoken, people speak and understand the language. Some more people in the country at the time speak more challenging Kiribati, which kind of confuses the younger generations. And the dominant nature of the languages, unlike several other languages, have over recent past year disappeared with the advent of globalization. Surprisingly, while over 80% of the people on the land are fluent in English, they also understand their native languages, and it's best to explain that the language is unique as it follows a verb object subject format. Due to interaction with other islands, the language is also spoken in regions like Fiji, Solomon Islands, Mili, and Niue. While English is the official language of Kiribati, it appears that the Kiribati language, also known as Gibraltese, is dominant, as the dominant nature of the Kiribati language can be linked to the fact that there are several people in a country like Kiribati and such speak the language. So it is also worth nothing noting that while English is used in official activities in school, Kiribati is spoken by families at home and in social places. Moreover, the natives, especially in remote areas, use a mixture of native of English and Kiribati. One of the notable issues is cannot fail to notice that is the fact that the Kiribati language, regardless of several notable influences from neighbouring islands, globalization has retained its authentic nature, and unlike many languages in the world that have been replaced by either English or other dominant language since lost their originality to become a blend, the Pacific Island kind of remains itself. And then moving on to legends, which is short paragraph. Pacific Island legend of the origin of man is accounted by a creation myth, with a turtle and spider gods creating the universe, and some myths recognising the land gods, who were invaded and overtaken by the eel and stingray gods, who then created the universe. And traditional legend tells of the spirit moving from the Samoa to the Gilbert Islands, and the spirit becomes half human and half spirit, and a long time later change into like human beings like you and me. And many of the Kiribati believe their ancestors to be spirits, some from Samoa and some from Gilbert. And yeah, that is Kiribati for you. And yeah, I'll see you more later for the news. Sure, au revoir for now.